Today, sit down with Tribeca local Katia Pryce, passionate fitness expert and founder of Dance Body with 2 studios in New York that have a cult-like following. We discuss her trajectory from dancer to a brief stint in stunts to fitness instructor and now CEO. And we talk about how movement empowers us in different ways at different stages of life. And nobody understands this better than her. I didn't realize the musical theater. So
yeah.
Tell me a little about from the beginning, because I know that was your track.
Right.
And then you got injured and then led to the other thing, or no? Was there no injury?
No real injury.
Oh, okay.
Injury of spirit.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. But take me back to, you're from here originally? Where are you from originally?
Detroit.
Got it. Okay.
Detroit. You know, it's like the black sheep story. It's like I'm the only one in my family who is here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what did your family do?
My family at home literally just thinks I'm a trainer. That's what they think.
God, I love it. Right. And what did they do? What was the history there?
So it's like I had a very idyllic childhood. I really did. It was like mom, dad, dog, cat, picket fence. My mom was a teacher. My dad is an assembly line worker.
Okay.
They're both since retired, obviously, but my whole family is there. And at 18, I was like, I'm gonna get the hell out of here.
Okay.
I just don't belong.
What led to that? What made you feel like it wasn't your spot?
You know, I just think it's a feeling that you have where it's like, these people are nice and this place is nice.
Yeah.
I'll come back and visit.
Got it.
But I don't,
yeah.
it's not for me. You know, I really always craved like an excitement and an energy. And New York is like the pinnacle of that.
Right.
And for someone in my trade, which was performing arts, musical theater, wanting to be on stage, wanting to have that presence.
There wasn't much of that. You have siblings?
Yeah, I have a younger brother.
God, okay.
And we're super close. So what's weird about this pregnancy is like, it's going to be the same thing of like what I grew up with, which is like older daughter, younger.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's like, it's nice because like I understand the relationship. I was kind of worried if I had 2 girls because I'm like, I just don't understand the sister relationship.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, you know, you learn.
I have an older, oh no, that's right. Older sister.
Yeah.
Younger brother, yeah. And they're going to be 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For 4 years apart, which is nice. But I feel like I've always considered my guardian angel. She's gone through a lot. She's always, in the sense of like, she's gone through everything first.
Yes, right.
And she's been able to guide me better, which is nice.
Of course. The first child is like your training wheels, right? You're just learning with that first, because you don't know. You're the experiment child.
And I feel like they get the short end of the stick. It's like with my son, or whatever he happens to be, but any second, because I go do whatever. It doesn't work.
It's amazing how that happens on that second time around, where it's just like everything's so precious.
Yeah, which is understandable. Okay, so you're dying to get out of Detroit. You just know this isn't for you. The acting bug, whatever.
Yes.
New York is what's on your mind, or
New York is what's on my mind. So I had crazy odd jobs to get here.
Yeah.
Like I was a singing and dancing stunt woman in Tucson, Arizona for a year. Like, you know where they filmed Three Amigos? Like that is actually the theme park that I worked at.
Oh, that's amazing.
Nowhere, Tucson, Arizona.
So what does that mean, a stunt, singing and dancing stunt?
Sorry, singing and dancing can girl.
Okay.
And then I found out that I got paid $15 extra a week to do stunts.
Nice.
So of course.
Right.
So obviously. And I was dating a stunt man, so yeah.
There you go.
I had to. So to keep up with my cowgirl lifestyle.
That was it, right?
Blood bags, gun trained. I fell off a 40-foot ladder backwards. You want to talk about like the ultimate trust fall? Like, it's intense. Jumping off mini trampolines with explosions behind you.
Were you athletic growing up? Did you play sports and stuff growing up?
You know what? I didn't play a lot of sports, which is funny because I consider myself to be highly athletic, but I was never into team sports. I never did it, really. Yeah. I did soccer, and then they told me I had to take my earrings out, so I quit. Priorities.
Right.
So dancing was really it for me. And dancing is a different kind of sport because it's highly individual. Mm-hmm. But there's also the group, right? You have the show, and having that mentality of a performing artist where it's like the show must go on and you put on a happy face and we're all working collectively towards this bigger idea. It is very teamwork oriented, just in a very different way.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And performing artists, because I hire mainly performing artists, very hard workers, perfectionists, like highly obsessive about their craft. They're actually great.
And that's why you specifically try to hire performing artists, or that's something you've just sort of discovered?
Well, with Dance Body, right? Yeah. Like I tried hiring trainers who liked to dance.
Right.
It didn't really work.
Okay.
Like I had to really, the performance aspect of this job, because at my job, right? At Dance Body, the girls are doing every single move for the clients.
Okay.
They're not standing there directing. This is not,
They're actually doing
Pilates class.
right.
Like they're actually like, they're getting the best energy out of you because they're putting their best energy forward. So it is a collective energy gather, which is very different. So it's like getting 20 people in a room moving in the same direction takes real leadership and real guidance and a real visual. So the people I have to hire have to be used to hard work, which dancers, performers are. And you have to have a teaching ability, a cueing ability, vocal ability, and that connection. So really a performing artist is where it's at.
Interesting.
And so we do the opposite. So instead of bringing in trainers and teaching them how to dance, because that's like a totally, I tried. It just basically doesn't work. No, it just doesn't work. They either have it or they don't. So I go the opposite direction where I typically will take in dancers or performing artists and certify them as they go.
In your method.
In my method, but then in pre-postnatal and in NASM. Like, so they're actually, they become personal trainers.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But they don't necessarily come in like that. So, and for them, it's a great gig. As a performing artist, you're always in between jobs. So, you know, you're a Rockette for 4 months and then you're out of work. So they need to have a steady paycheck, you know, and I know because that was me. That's why I started in fitness, because I was like, well, people are going to pay me to do this. Like, first of all, incredible. Love it. And secondly, how fun is this? Like, I get to do what I love. Like, I get to work out, which I loved, dance, which I loved, and connect with people, which I love. And I just couldn't believe.
Yeah, it's a great setup. Yeah. So you left Detroit, you came to New York. Looking to get into acting, dancing, musical theater.
That's right.
What was that process like? I mean, you were like, that's the story. Come to New York and start acting.
That's it. Come with a one-way ticket and your suitcase and no place.
You didn't know anybody.
Didn't know anybody. I stayed on a friend's couch. I think I found my first job and place to live on Craigslist. Remember?
Okay. Yeah, of course.
And that was really it. Like I was a waitress, like at Hawaiian Tropic Zone.
Okay.
High-end establishment.
Where was that? In the city?
49th and 7th. Right in the middle of Times Square.
What year was that?
This had to be 2008, 2009.
Okay. All right. Oh, so you're actually coming to New York during like a super tumultuous time.
Which is interesting because in the world of recession, there is no recession in fitness, weirdly enough. People, especially in New York, somehow always find money to work out. So it's like, it was an interesting time, but it didn't actually affect my industry as much as you might have thought that did. So I was able to get through that. But yeah, really, I came here with really nothing. And I'm just like, I'm going to be on Broadway, like we all are. And it just turned into becoming a professional waitress, which I didn't like. You know, I didn't want to be a waitress. I wanted to be performing. And then I got into fitness, boutique fitness, very early on, right? In those years, 2009, that's like the brink of boutique fitness. It's just burgeoning in New York City. So,
and boutique fitness is smaller classes, niche sort of practices.
Exactly. Small, niche, like very personalized, like, and different kinds of workouts. It's not what you're going to get in a big box gym. It's highly specialized. So I auditioned for Tracy Anderson. No idea what it was at the time. And loved it, was afraid of it. I was like, this is insane. But I worked 7 days a week. They hired me. I got to work with every celebrity under the sun. Like it was really an amazing experience, actually. And
how long has she been around at that point?
Gosh, you know, she didn't have any studios at the time I auditioned for. So that was right before her Tribeca opening. But she did have a studio in LA. So she was around, had been established, but not much in the New York scene. So I was one of her ground floor trainers, like as she was burgeoning here in New York City. Which is, you know, to each their own. I think just after a while, I realized that it didn't really resonate, but I loved it still.
I've spoken to a lot of trainers who have gotten their, sort of broke their chops there, whatever it is, and super good training, understanding, even just the exposure to that business. And absolutely.
Totally. I mean, and it really is intense. You want to talk about like work ethic and grit and earned confidence. I mean, it is, it's badass in its own right. I would never put it down because, you know, we as artists, we all have our own interpretation of what movement is and what dance is. There's a lot of room to play. No one has the market corner on that at all. So I just think I realized after a while that I felt actually exhausted. Really, I mean, obviously, I was training like 9 hours a day, which is insane. 27 years old, you can do that. Not anymore. Not in my age and state, right? It's just different now. So but I realized that my muscles weren't functioning in the way that I needed them to feel good. Like I would walk upstairs and get winded. I was like, something's off here. So I got fired from Tracy. And I was like one of their top trainers. And I just think they were trying to like clear house or who knows. Like,
Right.
I just know I was heartbroken. I just couldn't believe it. Like, this was this job that I had put my life into, that I loved so much. But you always know there's a blessing inside of everything, right?
Absolutely.
So I got fired, and here I am. I'm 27 years old at the time. I have no place to work. It's New York City. I live here. Like, I have to pay bills.
Yeah.
So I took a lot of time actually to rehab my own body, because my body was very badly broken after working myself out.
Because of those years.
Those years, it was really, I don't think I understood the body. I don't think I understood my musculature.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how to rehab myself correctly. So I took some time and I studied other methodologies. I did CrossFit. I did personal training. Like, I really started to understand my body in a different way. And now as a dancer, you can either be a healthy dancer or you can be an unhealthy dancer.
Right,
I've been on both sides of that coin. And
had you been dancing already before the Tracy Anderson?
yes. So I was trying really hard.
Right.
Before that, I had done cruise ships. I had done
Okay,
tours.
so you were in that world. You were dancing. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I was in that world, and then I transitioned out of that world when I found out I could make money doing training. I'm like, this is great. People are going to pay me.
Yeah.
So I stopped auditioning as a performing artist. And I did transition into boutique fitness full time. And that was my thing. And I knew that I loved it. And as a performing artist, it feeds a part of you. It's performance based in a way, it's athletic, but it's a job you're not going to lose. And I think there's something really that feels great about that, especially living in the most expensive city in the world. So I started developing my own methodology. I had always loved to dance. That's always been a part of my movement.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I know I love this dance aspect. And it turns out other people who don't even know how to dance love it as well, which I was shocked about. I couldn't believe that people loved it as much as I did. People who had never danced before, I thought that was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So literally teaching people how to do an 8 count, how to skip, how to move, how to break out of the mold of just a bicep curl and transverse rotational movement and moving their bodies and finding their mobility. That is a very different way to train.
Right.
Highly different way to train. It's not, one direction. It's really multi-direction, it really affects your body and brain very differently. Your brain has the neuroplasticity you need to be able to move in a different modality. You are doing so much work up here. It's so undersold. It's really
because there's sort of more moving parts to keep track of, right?
Absolutely.
So you're actually teaching people particular dance steps or dance routines, but in the framework of it being a workout.
Exactly.
It's not so much for the performance end of it. It's Right.
Exactly. Like, I will say about Dance Body, the fitness really comes first. It really is fitness focused. That is what we're doing. I'm not training you to be a prima ballerina, but a great side effect of that is you do become a better dancer. You have better posture. You have better confidence. You have that body confidence and awareness that dancers have.
It's really remarkable. I know. I know.
They walk in and it's like they're there.
Yeah.
They are fully present in their body in a way that is noticeable. And you can't really describe it.
We did a little collab with the Fred Astaire studio in Tribeca. I don't know if you saw those things on. And when they walk in, men and women, it's just, there's something so striking about the silhouette they cut.
Totally.
That's remarkable. Yeah.
Totally. And I just love it so much. But, the dance world can be highly exclusive, highly competitive, highly perfectionist. And how do you bring that modality to people who have never done it, who are super nervous to do it? How do you make it more accessible? So that was really my goal, is I think everyone can do this and experience the joy of dance without having to walk into steps or a Broadway dance center. Even for me as a dancer, that's intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make it accessible? Because people really do like it, and it becomes an acquired skill, like a new language or a musical instrument. It's very special. So fitness is kind of like the bait.
Yeah.
You're going to feel good. But ultimately, becoming a dancer is so sexy. It is. It gives you a different kind of confidence.
Yeah.
But in that realm, I think a lot of people think about Dance Body. All right, well, I'm not a dancer. I have 2 left feet. I'm not coordinated. I can't do Dance Body. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is we actually have a full sculpt track that has no dancing at all. Just resistance training to the beat of music. Now, what's amazing about that is when you're moving to the beat of music, I'm actually rewiring your brain to hear an 8 count, to move on the beat. You're becoming a dancer systematically without having to ever move your feet. You're just we use bands, right? I use resistance bands, I use light weights, and now we use heavier weights because, as we know, so crucial to start using heavier weights as we age.
Right, for the strength and the density. Yeah.
Have to. So the way that we train is, we're not using super heavy weights. It's an 8-pound weight, and we have one class that uses 16 pounds of weight. But when you're staying in a lunge for several minutes,
sure.
you're feeling that endurance strength training. It's just a different way to train. Dancers just approach it holistically different. It is a high repetitions, lower resistance game. And that produces a different result. You're still gaining muscle, but it's a different kind of muscle.
Are you attracting somebody who comes to your class as opposed to somebody else? Is just, I'm looking for a workout, I'm bored with what's out there, something new? Or are you attracting people who are specifically interested in the dance component? Like they actually think it will make them a better dancer, or they just want to move in that way? Old, young, what's kind of people?
You know, it's really interesting who's attracted to it, but I do think it is people who want to have ownership of their body and want to get in shape. They want to feel like they're in control of this thing that we own, in control of their instrument. And I do think, I will say this, it's a varsity workout. It's a work. I wouldn't say if you have 300 pounds to lose, do this workout.
Right.
Like, I think it is helpful to have a sense of your body awareness a little bit before you start, because I will say these classes are challenging.
You have to be in some shape to.
I think either that or you just can't be afraid to dive in.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can't, you have to kind of let it go. There's two types of clients, right? Your type A that have to know the steps. Yeah. And a lot of times those clients will do private sessions. That one-on-one attention, they'll get those private sessions before they come in. Right. And the type Bs that like just don't care. Throw me in, I'll figure it out. I'll muddle my way through.
Either way, I'm moving and I'll eventually get the steps correct. Yeah.
The same great workout, in fact. Right. So yeah, I think people are attracted to this because they can see that a different result is being produced. It is not the same run-of-the-mill gym result that you are getting. And to be fair, the community that surrounds this body is very different. It is very tight-knit. It's very supportive. It's very much a like attracts like.
How do you see that expressed? How do you not measure it, but how do you see that reflected in the way you look at it?
I mean, some of these women have found their best friends.
Really?
Myself included.
Yeah.
Like some of these clients have become my best friends.
Nice.
Going through postpartum together, going through trauma together, and just realizing if you can keep moving through that trauma or through this, everyone goes through those difficult times in their lives, and movement is medicine. It's such an important time to continually keep that endorphin rush going because it's organic, happy chemicals, right? Yeah. So I think post-COVID is where people most felt that.
You mean the need to be together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It became less about, and I saw this very much in my clientele, it became far less about, I need a six-pack. It became far more about, I need support. I need to feel seen. I need a community that's going to take me in. And
do you think that breaks down evenly amongst men and women? Or
no.
It's more female? Yeah. Are your classes mostly female?
No. First of all, I would love more testosterone. Right. I would love it. Right. Bring it on in. All I see is chicks all day.
Yeah. But that community support network, your female clientele is particularly attracted to that, which makes sense. Yeah.
It's with a name like Dance Body, you're going to get 99.9% female. And a lot of those women bring their daughters. A lot.
That's nice. That's good. So that's a bonding thing as well.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. I've seen it. So it's like a trickle down effect. They'll bring their family, they bring their friends. Like when you find this thing that you become so addicted to, and it is, because those chemicals are released, it is very much an addiction.
Yeah.
Like if you miss it for a few days, you feel the residual effects. Like you need it. It's like, I gotta get my fix.
Yeah. But I think that you said my wife brings my daughter to a Pilates class sometimes. And I didn't think about it, but now that you just said it, what a great way to sort of bond, right? You're letting go of everything, you're getting exhausted together, right. It's probably a nice way to be together without saying too much even, right? You just created this experience,
Oh, yes. Nice. We do a lot of like corporate events, corporate parties, a lot of, you can't even imagine amount of birthdays, bachelorettes, like anytime. It's, this generation now, especially, like they're drinking less, right? They're partying less, wellness minded above all else. So they really want experience. They really value experience. And I see that reflected. Like we have a lot more groups that are coming in like, we want to have this amazing experience together, as opposed to going to sit at another dinner, having another drink.
So people are hiring you to come in and do a class for a party because they've got shared experience. Yeah.
We'll go there.
That's cool.
They'll come to us. It just depends. Like my really good friend, Kate, had her daughter's 7th birthday there.
Oh, really?
And it was a Taylor Swift
that's
party.
Amazing.
So
they must have had a blast.
Oh my gosh. It's just, it's become such a communal place. And that makes me so happy because it's far more than what it began to be, right? It was started as fitness, right? I started this in my 20s. And I'm just like, I want to work out and be hot. That's the only two things.
It's only a motivating factor.
I'll make a couple bucks. I want to work out. I want to be hot.
Right.
And then in my 30s, it became like, oh, okay, this is more of a thing than I thought. This is really a business, and I'm going to have to, okay, got it. So I'm going to have to structure this. I'm going to have to hire people. Okay, maybe I'm a business person now.
Yeah.
So that it kind of ebbed into that now in my 40s and having children and being in this totally different phase, the community that we need, the support that we need, the types of classes that we need. So this methodology has really evolved very organically with me and the people that I have around me.
Yeah.
You know, like we need heavier weight. We need more resistance training. We need classes that are not just dance, but have just sculpt, just using the body, just starting to turn those muscles on. It's so important for people just starting out. When they don't have an awareness of their body, I'm not going to throw them into a dance class because it could be fun, but you're not going to feel as confident. You know, it's really important to get a nice, strong base going and then build off of that. So in both of our sculpt classes and our cardio classes, there's an ascension plan where you start here, then you go here, then you go here. Just like in skiing,
nice,
right?
Where
you just try to or karate. Yeah. Right, where you want the different like black belt. Everyone wants to be a black belt, right? But you just kind of work through the ranks. But I will say it is not a soul cycle. It's not a solid core. You're not going to jump in and feel 100% like I got this the first time. And that's
this
actually
is a little skill based.
Exactly. Yeah. But that is a good thing, and I think that is an art form that is very much lost. Like acquiring a skill takes time, effort, energy, commitment. And a true practice. And I think that's kind of an art form that's been lost. Because everyone wants an instant gratification and dopamine hit of like, I did this, I look good, I feel good. Yeah. And you can get there, but it's so worth the ascent.
Absolutely.
Of like learning, rewiring your brain, rewiring your body to be able to do that.
Yeah. Let me ask you about, you went from in Detroit, gotta get out of there, kind of see be an actor, dancer. Right. You go into now fitness, and now you become an entrepreneur, right? So talk to me a little bit about, now you got to build this business.
Right.
Did you know anything about that? Did you have help? What was, and by the way, were you calling back home and checking in during this time? No, okay, I got it. Helpful. Okay, I'm getting the pattern. So, but it dovetails into this. I mean, you're in New York City. Now you want to create a business in New York City. You're throwing yourself into the deep end.
Right.
Just talk to me about some of those early days of just thinking this through. Like, what do I do with this now? What were some of the successes and failures? Just take me through that beginning phase.
You know, I thought about this actually quite a bit. Yeah. And I think one of the beauties of starting a company so young, like I was 29 when I incorporated.
You don't know what you don't know. Right. Right. Exactly.
The risk is low. Yeah. You know, you know you need to make money.
Right.
That's like kind of what you need to know. And at the time when I was doing this in 2013, 2012, this was well before the girl boss, like small businesses are cool. Like that was not really in the air quite yet. So there wasn't a lot of camaraderie there. Like I had to Google entrepreneur to know what that meant. So when I say it was an accidental entrepreneur, like that's just, there was no business plan. There was no pitch to investors. Sure. It was just like, I need to survive. I need to make money. I love doing this. This seems to work. Right. So it was highly instinctual. I wouldn't say there was a lot of forethought to that, but I knew that there was supply and demand. I had something that people wanted, and I loved it. Yeah. That was the beautiful part of it. So it just very organically grew. So
what was your first class? Like what was the first time you opened the doors and said, I'm ready. You know, I'm here.
Here's the crazy part. I didn't have a studio for the first 5 years of my business. Right. Because I wasn't raising money.
Of course.
Right.
You're in New York City, where you're going to rent a studio.
Also, I'm from Detroit. I don't have a trust fund, baby. I don't have this. Right. You know what I mean? So like, I don't have the money. My parents don't have the money. So how do you get the money? Yeah. Okay, you don't have it. No problem. You know, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. You get it. Yeah. So it's, I was working out of rented space. Like hire by the hour space. You're in, you're out. So it was not our studio space, but I had unlimited paying members. There was so many people coming through my doors, and I was in a 5-floor walk up on White Street in Tribeca for the first 5 years of the business. Wow. I didn't know anything. All of my employees, I paid them under the table. Like I knew I had to hire people, but I didn't know how. And the thing is, you do learn. And I have the thought very early on of like, all right, well, I'll just hire people who know things. even if I don't know things, I'll hire an accountant, I guess, once I can afford one. But it was very grassroots. And I think there's a beauty in that because it really lets you know if you got it or you don't got it.
Yeah,
and you don't have money to hide behind. You don't have that shield and you don't have that propping you up.
Yeah.
So you have to really fight for what you have. So when people talk about like a cult-like thing or a community thing, I do have that because it was born out of...
Did you have people right away and where did those people come from?
I think, well, listen.
Word of mouth at that point? Because you're in the community.
I had worked at Tracy Anderson. And the best thing that Tracy ever did for me was she badmouthed me to a lot of people.
Really? Okay, got it.
So that was really helpful because actually what she didn't realize she was doing was getting me the best press. Here I had this established figure and she's saying, oh, don't go to Dance Body and don't do this. I'm Katia Pryce. I'm like, keep it coming.
Just keep saying my name, right.
Keep it coming, man, because that was the best press for me.
Interesting,
So people knew I was doing something that was similar but not the same. And that's what it is. It's similar but not the same. So for the first 5 years, I'm kind of just, we're doing classes, we're doing private sessions. I'm still going out to the Hamptons at that point. We've been in the Hamptons for 10 years.
Teaching classes out there.
Teaching classes. I don't have a space out there.
Right.
Like when I say I slept in my car overnight out there, like that's how the business started. So, it wasn't until, so I was dating this guy. You're going to hear all this. I was dating this guy who was like, seemed like a money guy. Like, I don't know. I'm a bumpkin from Michigan. What do I know about business? What do I know about anything? He had button ups and he had the stuff. I was like, okay, this guy must know something. When he found out how much money my business was actually making, he decided to get involved. And you can kind of imagine where this went.
Right. So
he decided we should raise money. He decided, I'm going to help you. Here's what I will say about that. Two things can be true. I think he did help me a lot in many, many, many ways, but he also really did not help me in other ways. And I'll just give you the short story of, I did raise money with him. And so we do have investors. Yeah. I didn't know anything about doing that. He was helping me try to open doors in my first studio. And, it's an expensive project in Tribeca. But what ended up happening instead was I went into my first real estate lawsuit because something went south. And now I'm personally liable. My company's liable. We can't use the space in the way that we thought that we could, but we've already signed the, it's the New York story. This is how you sharpen your teeth in New York. You just make all the mistakes and the really expensive ones. Because then you don't have to go to college.
Well, that's how you get your education. Exactly. That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So instead of going to college, I just paid my tuition and F-ups. Yeah. So that was a big problem. And it happened not once, but twice in two different spaces. We were supposed to open two separate Dance Bodies. Same gorgeous. Guy. Same guy. And I did it twice, David. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Because, I think it's, I don't think this is really that important, but as a woman and as a young woman in business and not with a lot of support, you second guess yourself, you abdicate a lot of your responsibility. You just don't know. You just don't know. And you think someone's going to protect me. My lawyer is going to protect me. My accountant's going to protect me. This guy's going to protect me. No one protected me. No one really had my back in the way that I needed. So I just
treat as male or female. I think in business, that's just what you learned.
It is like,
nobody's got your back.
You really have to fight for your rights.
You got to fight for it. Yeah.
To fight for your rights in a very,
you think, Will, you should have to keep people accountable. That's all.
Right.
Left to their own devices. Nobody's proactively,
and left to his own devices, he embezzled over $100,000 from me as well.
I'm sorry. So you got your New York trial by fire. Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I learned a lot. I learned how to become a very shrewd operator and really take back my own responsibility for owning my company. Like, okay, here's what I know. I know that I got something. I know that people like it. I know that this guy thought it was good enough to steal money from me. So I know I have a thing here. So... And then of course COVID hit. But I opened my first two studios. They were turnkey studios. So they were studios that were going out of business that I got on the cheap.
Okay.
And those are the two studios I still have today.
Oh, great.
One in Tribeca, one in Nomad. And they were already there effectively. So I didn't have to do a whole lot of work and I was able to open them fairly quickly. And then we started streaming before I even had studios.
And where did that, not a lot of people were, so where did that come from?
Yeah, well, first of all, I had always done Buns of Steel with my mom when I was a kid. Yeah. And being from Michigan, you don't have the cool stuff that the cities have. And, I always wanted that. So I was like, I bet people want this. So weirdly, what we did was we went live. Remember Periscope?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
That was like that first live streaming platform. So
what was their deal, though?
They got bought by Twitter.
Right.
Remember? It was basically like a live streaming platform.
Yes.
And you could go on and see who was live streaming. It was like very early social media, right? Very early in that game. There was really no social media at the time. Like Instagram had just started, Periscope was coming out. And so I'm like, all right. So I would find a way to suction my phone onto the front of the mirror wherever I was teaching for an hour. And I would go live on Periscope. And we did that for a year.
Okay.
And then after that year, we launched our online platform. And the only way you would laugh. Like I was climbing up on windows, putting a video camera up in space that I didn't own.
Right.
The amount of problems, using real music, no licensing. It's just like, again, every mistake that you can make.
And who was we at this point? Who you had a team now? Or?
So my very first hire became my number one employee, and she still is. She's my COO to this day. She's my co-founder now, and her name's Courtney, and she's still teaching. We're both still teaching. So
that's awesome.
We're like the heartbeat that just kind of keeps it going. So it was her, and then the guy that I was working with at the time. Of course, he knew about streaming. So he, like I said, two things can be true. So he very much helped with that. We were very much on the brink of that. That was hugely helpful.
Yeah.
But then he rewired all the funds to go to his bank account. Small issue, small problem.
Yeah.
So, but that's how it started. And so really in 2016 onward, we were cultivating an online community. This was way ahead of when everyone was doing, like Peloton was just coming out at this time. Everything was kind of new in that digital space.
Right.
And then enter COVID when everything shut down. We had just launched live streaming. So Courtney and I decided we were essential. We went to the studio every single day and we live streamed twice a day workouts. And we our streaming business went up by 300%.
Right.
Amazing. We're the only ones doing it.
Yeah.
So that was, I loved it. This is before marriage.
That's your karmic, like good payback for all the stuff you had to go through, is that you're in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and a lot of this is just being lucky, being in the right place at the right time, and just happening to have the resources. So we made it work.
Yeah.
And then the comeback from COVID, right? It's like streaming was big for a while. We did pop-ups in Miami and the Hamptons, like all those places were hot. So it's like we were still in person, but then still streaming. We were not founded as a streaming company. We're not Peloton, so we really didn't have like the digital marketing or the way to retain customers or what's churn. We didn't have any of this through really an in-person brick and mortar that was really making it work with streaming. Now we're much better at that, but even still.
How many people now work for the company as far as like those internal?
Internally. So like I said, I think I have about 20 or so trainers.
Okay.
And then staffing wise, between full-time and part-time, I think I have 5 or 6.
Should you have like now a full-time digital team and social? No. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
We're, for all intent and purpose, we're still a small business. We're still a startup in a lot of ways.
Okay.
And that's only because we didn't do the major fundraising round.
Right.
Because I just, when everyone was raising money during COVID, every wellness, every digital platform was raising hundreds of millions of dollars. I didn't feel good about that because I had raised money before. Mm-hmm. And one thing I know about raising money is like, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah, and now you're accountable. If somebody looking over your shoulder, it changes the time.
It's just different. Yeah. I'm a very frugal operator. I really am. We're not doing gold-plated ceilings in my studios. Right. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in raising a lot of money to do that because I don't know what the path is to get it back yet.
Yeah.
So, I do have investors that, and even though it's a small amount, it was a smaller amount that was raised, and that was back in 2017, so long ago. But I feel a deep sense of like ownership of like, I have to make sure this works. And if you think about all the things we have been through, and the climate has changed so much, how do you make it work? And Dance Body is so special. To franchise it now would be death. You see it. You see a lot of these companies try to franchise, and it's like, we're going to do all this. And then PE firms don't have the same amount of caring.
Absolutely.
Let's just say, and the same amount invested. Fitness is very much product and people. Yeah. And you really have to have the right people involved.
What you're saying is right, in that you also set the tone. How do you navigate, especially now with the advent of social, and it's probably changed your business tremendously, but in a way you are the brand, right? You are the energy that comes through. You are the guiding factor.
Right.
How do you navigate, I guess the personality, right? You sort of have to be on a lot. Now you maybe like that. It's, I think you're obviously born for, you're magnetic and you glow and you love what you do, Is that tricky? Are there times where you feel you have to be more out there than you want to be? How do you navigate that?
Yeah, I think for me, because of my personality type and being a performer, I think a lot of that comes naturally. I enjoy it. Right. I feel esteem from it. So it really is like, it gives me
suited
energy.
For you.
It is well suited for me. But, there are times when, I've been doing this now for 12 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And you would love to think that you can like kind of hand off some of that. You really can't.
Right.
You really cannot. You really can't take your foot off the gas. And I talk about this with a lot of
You mean you can't take the foot off the gas of basically you being you? Yeah, exactly. Right.
You, in terms of culture, in terms of mission, in terms of vision, you really have to be at that forefront.
Right.
You know, and then now being a mom and going to be a mom of two, I think, you know, going through a time like postpartum where I had endless time to focus on my business. Now, with kids in the mix, your priorities do shift, things do change. And I was always concerned, how am I going to feel about running a business once I have kids? Because I know I want to, you know, I waited this long. I want to be a very committed mom. But my appetite, my ambition did not go away, even in the slightest. In fact, it probably got crazier.
Yeah.
So,
and what did you feel you were able to strike? Because I know that's something you have to navigate, right? You guys are always up against, that's not something I have to deal with, right? How do you have those competing interests, right? And so how have you found to find that balance? Or
I balance is a myth. I think it's whatever works for you. And I think what works for me is being a working mom. That works for me. And that just means I need the support. I need help. I need support. You know, I have an amazing husband who's highly supportive, really gets it. My family isn't close. They're not here. They're all back in Michigan. So, you know, I do have help here with my child. And then when I'm home, I'm 100%. I'm 100%. And the weekends are 100%. But I do think for me, as an individual, like it is very important that I have something that feeds me. I don't think I would be suited to not have something. I just have too much energy.
And is that's the business that feeds you? I was going to ask you, like, sort of what else do you do to recharge you other than the dance and the business? Obviously, I'm the same way. If I get into it, I get energy from that. But are there other things that you find that you go to give you that balance or that almost deeper reset?
Really now for me, like I was always someone that was very individual and I didn't need a lot of friendships and I didn't need a lot of that camaraderie. I really need that now, especially being a new mom. Like I need my friends in a way that I never did before.
Interesting,
Like I was much more like masculine energy where I could just like focus on the business 100% of the time. And now I know that does not serve me or the business very well. I really need that time to reset and having those deep connections with people, not surface connections, like people I can really talk to and connect with. And that's as simple as like walking out of my building and seeing a friend that I know. And that is the beauty of New York also, because you're here, you're plugged into the community. You don't have to make a play date because you're going to run into 3 people that you know.
Is that is that allowing yourself to slow down enough to have that moment? Totally. Or is that what the new thing is?
I think for me, having relationships outside of my business is very, very helpful for me at this point. That does recharge me and reminds me I have this other side to myself that you also need to put energy towards and work on. So that is very helpful. And at any time, my husband and I can be by ourselves, which is like never. But
of course,
you know, when you get that connection with your partner, like I think that's also really helpful because you have this amazing partnership outside of your business partnership. It's just very different. It's much more balanced, if you want to use the word, and balanced in a way. It does kind of work for me. But
I think that's right. I think balance, I know that word is tricky, but I think you're right. I think it's about finding what works for you.
It's coping. It's coping. Because like, where do you find your happy? Where do you find your happy chemicals? Because they exist, but how do you get...
Well, it's almost like when you said originally, you know, after working with Tracy, there were things in your body that just didn't feel right. It's just being sensitive to that. There's also an internal world that we have to be sensitive to as well and make the same adjustments.
Absolutely. And you know, when you're caring for a child, you want to come in at 100%. You don't want to be lacking. You don't want to be in a weird place. So it is much more important now that I really do make sure my cup is full so that I have that to bring to my family. And that's not easy.
Absolutely. For anybody, it's not. There's so much information out there.
Yes.
You go on social, everybody seems to be, and I was at Barnes & Noble's the other day and I was browsing and I was in sort of philosophy of the help. I'm like, there is infinite amount of books on how to live a better life. And none of it seems to be working, to be honest. Like everybody's an expert, but we're still in the same situation. But going to exercise and wellness, and there's so much out there. Social has allowed people a platform that maybe shouldn't have a platform, but without getting critical, I guess the bigger question is, let's ask both questions. What do you like that's happening out there? And what do you not like that's happening out there as far as the breadth of information that's available to people just looking to get healthy and, you know.
Right. I mean, this is a great question. And herein lies like the problem with health and wellness. There is an inherent problem in our world of health and wellness. Now, the benefit to this is because of social media, because of this proliferation of knowledge, things are so much more accessible to us.
Right.
You can go on YouTube, you can go on social media, you can find out about things that you would never have known about. And I think what's really cool in really every generation across maybe not the boomers, I don't know, my parents, I don't know what they're doing, but it's fine. But really like Gen Z and watching people like the wellness, being conscious that this is important. Your brain is important, that your body is important, and not just like shutting it down is so awesome. And that is a huge superpower. Now that's a double-edged sword.
You're saying it's great people are more aware of that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's awesome that people have the awareness and have the hunger for more information. Now you get into like the too much information at all because there's so much information out there. Like, let's just take a silly example, like NADs, right? Everyone's talking about NADs. Oh my gosh, NADs.
NADs, what is it?
I don't even know what is an acronym for it, but it's basically something that's produced in the body naturally.
Okay.
That you can get injected into your body. You can get in serums.
Okay.
You can get it, like NADs are just like, basically you can get it injected. And this is like, first of all, injectables. You can
and
inject
what is it supposed to do?
It's basically meant to regenerate cells and promote longevity.
Got it. Okay.
You know what's great for that? Movement.
Right.
What are we doing?
Right.
Like, the smarter we've become, the stupider we've become. If you Google, like, how do you produce NADs naturally? Exercise. Yeah. It really just boils down to the same three things we've always known. Don't eat like shit. Yeah. Hydrate yourself. Try to sleep as much as you can and move your body. Yeah. It's just
But to that point, I think people are finding it harder and harder to do.
Right.
And so instead of just going back to simplicity of let me move more, they're like overreaching for some solution. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
So it's the shiny object.
Yeah.
Right. And no one wants to cultivate a fitness routine. It's hard. Right. It takes time. It's skill-based. It needs to become a priority. Everyone's squashed for time, right? Especially with like, after the work from home era, you're attached to your phone. People can get a hold of you at any time. I think there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. So I don't think this is easy, by the way. I would never want to say that this is easy. Everyone should do it. It's not. It's not easy. But what's not easy is the mindset. If you cannot take extreme ownership of what's going on here, you are going to reach for the easiest possible solution. If you're not prioritizing what's going on here, you're going to have a health scare, and the solution is going to be pills, injectables. Right. That is going to be your solution, unless you step back and really take stock of like, all right, well, am I eating as well as I can be? Am I treating this thing well? Am I treating my brain well? Am I being good to myself? They're very simple questions. And I think if people actually sat down to answer them, I don't know if those answers would be good. So that's what I think is the main problem. There's so much information, and whether it's good information or bad information, it's all information, and you filter through it. If you're a smart human, like, all right, well, what's the source? Is it reliable? Let me cross-check this. Right. Like, I'll just Google 5 more things. Maybe I'll find a study. I think doing your due diligence now has become harder than ever. You know, you're not just going to your doctor and trusting what they're saying necessarily. You really have to advocate for your own health. Yeah. We know this now. We know this now. So I don't think it's easy, but I do think if you're going to take the extreme ownership of your life and your body, it means you do have to step back and do the work. But at the core, you got to move every day. Yes. You got to sleep. You got to hydrate. Right. You can't work yourself to death. And on the other side of that, I will say, especially with the younger generation, this era of, I got to look out for my stress levels. I got to look out for my mental health. I think we've done ourselves almost a disservice there.
I agree. Yeah. Now it's too much. It's too much self-awareness. It's not healthy self-awareness. There's something like,
we need less. We need less self-awareness in a way. Like, we've got the self-awareness. Or like, let's dial it back a little bit.
It's too much. I agree.
If I could tell you the amount of employees younger that have said this job is too stressful. I'm like, it's a fitness job, honey. Like, what do you think?
But also, life is stressful. Like, get over it.
If you
deal with it.
Like, it's going to be a long life. You can't just have bubble baths and matcha teas and think it's going to work out.
I know.
Like, that's just not how it works. Yeah. So I think this art form of an acquired skill, this art form of maybe it's an art form that's never been existed, because I understand even from my era, it was the hustle era.
Yeah.
It was like the go-getter era. So like, I understand that I am wired in a very different way. Also being from the Midwest, we just work.
Yeah.
It's just what we do. So I can see it from both sides. I can see like, okay, overworking, not great, but like.
No, but not overworking, but just being willing to work. Put in whatever's necessary. That's what we're talking about. It's not
People
overworking.
asking me to
just
work
working.
from home. Like, why?
Right.
Why work from home?
Well, COVID didn't know help with.
No.
I was having this debate with somebody a while ago, and it's human nature. I think you said it beautifully. People will naturally go to the easiest and sort of lowest common denominator. It's hard to build things up.
Absolutely.
It's hard to build a company. Mm-hmm. It's hard to keep a band together. It's hard to maintain, right? Left to our own devices, things run down.
Right.
And I think COVID gave everybody an excuse to sort of go to the easiest possible route. And I think that's what you're seeing, why people crave even coming together and making the effort to show up to an in-person class is the effort required to build friendships, to build,
That's right. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Everything is hard. Relationships are hard.
Exactly.
Work is hard. Everything is. But it's rewarding.
It's rewarding. And that's the natural part of the world. Like,
that's right.
It's hard, but it's rewarding. Yeah.
Well, like that's what exercise is, right?
Yeah.
You're stressing the body, which would seem like a bad thing. But if you do not pump these valves, if you do not stress your body, you do not get the benefit of your cells regenerating. You do not get the benefit of like stressing your heart. Like that is so important.
Yeah.
And especially right now, so like cardio's gotten a bad name, right? Everyone wants to strength train. I get it. I love it. I love resistance training. I've always done it. I do it in a different way, but I do it.
Yeah.
But this idea that you don't need to do cardio, that you can just go to Pilates and do this, it's not a thing. And it's not good for your longevity. It's not good for your longevity is dictated on VO2 max. In a lot of those classes, you're laying down or it's like, we're not going to inflame ourselves. I'm like, okay, fine. Don't inflame yourselves. But like, if you never inflame yourselves, what happens? It's really.
Is this the big like zone 2 movement now thing? Is that because that's all over the place, right?
Yeah, it's just like it's really like this soft core fitness era. I'm not into it. I'm just not into it. I don't see the benefit of it. I see girls having oat milk lattes, going to a class that burns sub 200 calories.
Interesting. Yeah.
And it's just not good.
So you're saying, I mean, if I understand, people need to work harder than they think.
Yes.
To get help. That's interesting.
If you are not in a class that challenges you, it does not change you.
Right.
If it is not truly challenging, if you're not working with a trainer that is going to challenge you, you shouldn't be going to a fitness class and feeling like, well, that was really pleasant. It should feel enjoyable. Listen, I enjoy my workouts. I have a trainer myself.
Right. Okay, you do.
Oh yeah. Once a week, I train heavy because here's the thing that I know about me. I hate lifting heavy weights.
Right.
I don't like it. Do I need to do it? Of course I do. I'm 41. You have to do this. I know I need to do it. I know I will not do it on my own. Could I do it on my own? Of course, but I know I won't do it.
Right.
So because I know my mindset and my behavior, and I know that that will be the first thing to go in my week, I have to schedule a time and I have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I have to. If I don't, I won't do it. And if I'm not consistent, it won't matter.
Yeah. Interesting.
If I do it once a month, who cares?
Yeah.
My body won't.
Yeah.
So I make that time because I hate lifting heavy weights. I don't enjoy it in the same way, but I feel the results from it and I feel achieved. I feel stronger. I can pick up my daughter easier. Like
you develop that mindset and discipline for this area of your life. Yeah, for sure.
And it becomes a non-negotiable.
Right.
It's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it every week or make a new schedule every week. I think that's also very insidious. When you're remaking your schedule every week, I'm like, no, make your schedule, stick to it. And very few deviations. There's always going to be deviations to the plan, but like make your schedule, try to stick to it as much as you can. And your movement is a part of that.
Yeah. Well, I was even going to say, I think what I find useful, one of the things I find difficult, but I've gotten better at is matching the workout to what it is I'm trying to achieve, right? So I'm not you and I'm not this guy who's running the ultra marathon. Like that's just not my lifestyle. But you can get caught up in, well, that must be the thing I'm doing, right? As opposed to finding, again, the mobility or the functionality or whatever it is and being okay with that being your lane. But I think everything, especially again, with the advent of social media, there's such this comparison thing. And that's where it gets tricky, and the advent of the personality behind it,
Oh my gosh, completely.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, so on the teaching end of things, that must be pretty nourishing and satisfying. What How has your teaching philosophy changed over 12 years of, I don't know, motivating people, even what you learned about yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said in the beginning, I think it was just like, watch me, I'm cool, I'm hot. That was my teaching style. That was as far as it went.
Right.
And then it really changed to being more intuitive to what my class needs.
Yep.
And one of the cool things about being a teacher or being a performer is like you intuitively feel people's energy. You can kind of riff off of what do people need. Now, in all of my classes, there's a structure. We are Starbucks. You're not going to go to a different class and get a different thing from a different trainer.
Yeah.
It's all replicable. It's the only way.
No matter what trainer you go to.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
If the class is this class, that is what you're
But
doing.
you may like a particular trainer's personality. And so,
Always.
Okay.
People are gravitating to the trainer.
Right. Okay.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. But I tried to make it as bulletproof as possible because that's the only way that's the only way I can have 2 studios. That's the only way I can expand.
Sure.
So for me, I try to feel it out as the founder and someone who can be a little more playful in their classes. I take a lot of liberties.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel that people need a certain mobility move, like right now, I'm really into range of motion.
Yeah.
Like range of motion is my thing. I feel like range of motion for all bodies, doesn't matter how you're training, is doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Because without range of motion, what happens as we age? You get stiff, you don't use it, you lose it. So mobility and range of motion are so important. So right now I like to do a deep ancestral squat. Now, that's not something I would have even thought to do 10 years ago in my class because, it wasn't dancy and it wasn't cool and it wasn't fun. I can do it to really fun music. Like I can make you feel like doing this deep squat is really fun. And I will wait till you get down there. I'm just as tough as any other trainer. But it's to rhythm. It's to, so people have like a BPM that they're moving to. And with moving to music, it's a reward system in the brain, right? It's feeding the primal reward center of your brain to listen to music and dancing, especially. Like, when you go to Central Park, you hear like someone playing, you're like, oh, what's going on over there? It's like, we are all instinctually driven to go towards that. And we lose that as we get older. We become humiliated. We become like more self-conscious. And I really try to liberate that inside of all of us. So anyways, to the point of the teaching, I think for me, it's become a lot more playful. More playful and a lot more in service of what people need.
Beautiful, yeah.
As opposed to what I need to. I know I'm good. I don't need that validation anymore, whereas younger trainers might need that validation of I am good. I know I'm good. I'm very confident in that I am good. What's important for me is that you feel good. And that has been a big change for me.
It's so nice. It's so interesting you say that. I talk to a lot of founders and I, the question is sort of basically how you evolved, whatever gets asked on any interview, but it's basically how have you evolved. And there's always that point where that shift, it stops being about me and becomes about service. Right. And I talk about that in the hospitality industry all the time. Mm-hmm. And I love to hear that because it's so beautiful. You can't go wrong.
No, you really can't.
Yeah.
And it's case by case. Yeah. Like, you could have rules that says no one's coming to class late.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of my customers are moms. And I know what it is now to be late being a mom. You're just trying to get to your workout class. It's like, let them in.
Exactly.
Let's break the rules a little.
Yeah. So what's next? What's the next level?
So next level is, now after this 5-year period from COVID to now, things have really changed in the market. So I've been kind of, being frugal and waiting to see like, what is that change going to be? Like, what direction do I need to go digital? Do I need to go brick and mortar? We're founded as brick and mortar, but digital seems to be the thing.
Right.
But I don't think anyone's making digital look too attractive right now, to be honest with you. Yeah. Digital will always be
digital means streaming? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it will always be a part of my business because it's really important for me, especially people that have moved outside of New York. Yeah. And I have people that stream right down the street on a day that they just want to stay in their pajamas. I totally get it. But I think brick and mortar is going to be our extension.
That's what you want.
I'm really excited about that. And on top of that, I'll do you one better. Yeah. We're not going to expand in New York. I have 2 shops in New York. Yeah. I know it works. I know people know that. I don't need any more proof there. Yeah. What we're going to do is go to Connecticut.
Please.
Because here's what I believe. I believe that these enclaves of my customers live everywhere. Yeah. And I think they are very underserviced in a lot of other places. And I think they want that swag. They want that New York boutique feeling. Yeah. I don't think they're getting it. I think they're getting a lot of boring bar classes. Right.
I'm sure that's the case.
Most definitely. Yeah. And a lot, after COVID, a lot of New Yorkers left. And they went to these enclaves that they just don't have their stuff. They don't have their fancy coffee. They don't have their things that they loved. And I'm really feeling called to find those enclaves and to service them.
Yeah. So I love the focus on and my daughter always makes, she's like, nobody says IRL, but I like the phrase. I like the in real life focus. We need more in real life stuff.
I know. I mean, let's be real. Like the digital side, we know it's never going away.
Right,
We know that like there's gonna be two sides of this coin, and that's fine. But one thing I know is that human biology doesn't evolve overnight. It really doesn't.
Also, I think there's something, I think there's something about putting the effort to getting people together. I think it's, as a founder, as you look back and say, what have I built? Fine, build digital as a business model behind that. And even opening the studios, it's got to be a business model. But to look back and say, there is this community and I've helped put that together, I think feels good on a level that is not a matter of a bottom line. It's like, I put these people together, and I think that's probably helped their life just as much as the workout. So that's beautiful.
Absolutely. Bringing people together is kind of the ultimate. I mean, when I look at this community and be like, this started from nothing. And I've been able to nurture some of these very deep relationships. It really is rewarding, because that is very real. And you can't buy that, and you can't get that on Instagram. That's not a thing. Like, that is something that's a very rewarding facet for people. That is a lost art form.
Thank you so much for coming in. I love the store. I love your energy. I'm so happy for you.
Now you're going to come to class?
I got my own workout, but we'll talk about it. Talk about it. So congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. This is so great.
It was great. It's such a good conversation.
Oh my gosh. You're so easy to talk to.
Thank you so much. You too.
You make this so easy.
Well, you made it easy.